Hey everyone, welcome to the post-op, welcome to the new news, and I have to say, there's only one special reason I'm doing this live tonight, despite being post-surgery, and it has nothing to do with the news, but I will tell you about it. But anyway, I kind of had no choice but to do this. How do you not go live when the International Criminal Court has issued arrest warrants for the Prime Minister of Israel and the former defense minister, because he was just fired by the Prime Minister. And they are, anytime they go to Europe or any country that abides by the ICC ruling, they could be arrested. So I think the Netherlands has already said that they would arrest him, Netanyahu, if he steps foot there. And there will probably be other countries. I think actually, I have to check the individuals. In fact, let's go do that. Let's see what's happening right now out there. There's a lot of other stuff going on too. But okay, where are we? Here I am. Let's share screen. Let's see what's going on. All right, guys, so let's see. ICC issues arrest warrants for Netanyahu and Gallant over the Gaza war. Now, I think they also issued an arrest warrant for Yahya Sinwar, who is the former or the late Hamas leader. Israel claims to have killed him. Did they actually confirm that? Did Hamas actually say that they agree with that? And people, anyway, whatever, I'm not 100% sure of that. So let's just read a little bit here. In bombshell ruling, all three judges allege crimes against humanity, making Netanyahu an ex-defense chief, internationally wanted suspects. PMO, which is Prime Minister's Office, with disgust rejects the false charges. Now, mind you, I just want you to know that this is not the only thing happening today. There was also the former justice minister. Oh yeah, the surgery. But wait, Raya, leave your clinic there. I'm going to show it later. The former justice minister, Ayelet Shaked, actually was refused entry to Australia today. So that's another thing. But okay, so in a massive legal bombshell, the ICC on Thursday issued arrest warrants for Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and former Defense Minister Yoav Gallant over the war in Gaza, an unprecedented step that put the two at risk of being detained in much of the world. All right, I will tell you, the U.S. has already said, no, we're not going to abide by this. Daniel, although some people, I'm sorry, it's, if you have ever joined this broadcast before at this hour, there's no quiet on the set. Let's put it that way. So apparently there are some states or cities in the U.S. that are like, oh yeah, we're going to arrest them if they come here. But I don't know if they really have jurisdiction to do that. I'm not sure about that. Okay, so this is the first time the ICC has ever issued arrest warrants against leaders of a democratic country. So if there are 120 countries that are party to the ICC, this is all hoping that Times Israel did their homework right. I'm sorry, it's the only one I opened up. And as you can see, they also issued a warrant for Hamas military chief Mohammed Deif, who Israel said was killed by an IDF strike in Gaza, and also for Ismail Haniyeh, who was killed in Iran while he was there for the new Iranian president's inauguration, and Yahya Sinwar, who Israel says they killed in a drone strike in southern Gaza a couple weeks ago. So this actually is insane if it actually happens. This is, and of course they're saying that they're saying that that Israel has committed crimes against humanity, genocide through its war in Gaza, and the war in Gaza, which is, still going on, though not many people hear about it these days. I know you're hearing probably more about the what's happening with Hezbollah in Lebanon, and that there is some sort of ceasefire negotiation on the cards going on right now. And Amos Hochstein, who's the American envoy to Lebanon and to the Middle East, he has been negotiating that. And he was in Lebanon yesterday, came to Israel today. And so allegedly there's like some sort of talk about some ceasefire that would be. Now, I don't know the full terms of it. I don't know who's agreeing to it. We could actually see. No, I don't have my phone, so I can't do alternate searching while I'm at it. Phone is with the child. I can't go walking too fast to get it. So, but then there was also the issue of Ayelet Shaked being refused entry into Australia. So now so it really begs the question, so what's happening in Gaza? How long has it been going on? And, Israel is carrying out a military strategy, whether officially or unofficially, depends who you talk to in Gaza. Israel doesn't say it's officially carrying out the strategy. So the general's plan was written by a former IDF general who's always on the news, by the way, interviewed all the time. And his philosophy is to empty the north of Gazans and to create a buffer zone. So Israel says it's necessary for security, to be able to return residents to southern Israel on the border with Gaza. And of course, Palestinians and Palestinian proponents will say, well, it's actually ethnic cleansing. You're actually forcing a displacement of people who live in this area, and you're forcing them to go elsewhere, no questions asked. The military has given them orders to go and leave this area, and anybody who remains will be considered either a terrorist or a terrorist sympathizer. So that's what's happening in northern Gaza. Now, wow, will I ever find that map? Not quickly. But what I can show you, I do have a Google map thing. I'll show you what's actually happening here in Gaza, but we're going to go to Gaza, not Iran. I guess the last time we spoke, we were in Iran. All right, so let's go to Gaza. Okay, so you see here the line here. This is Israel, Mediterranean Sea. This is Egypt here, and this is Gaza. Now, right now, this plan is being carried out in the north, and they're emptying. I don't know why we don't have cities on here. What's happening? They're emptying out. There's about 400 to 600,000 people that were up here. Gaza City might be around here. And then there's this strip right in the middle called the Netzarim Corridor. And that is controlled by Israel. So Gaza is essentially split in two. So Israel has control between the north and the south if people want to travel. Now, mind you, they're having the people move out of here in northern Gaza southward. Then there's this split, which is like not in the middle, but it's somewhere around here. And then, of course, they control Rafah as well. Israel does. So what's the end game here? When does it actually end? How does the war in Gaza end? And this is a question that nobody knows. Mind you, 101 hostages are still there. And no word. Now, Prime Minister Netanyahu and the new Defense Minister Israel Katz were in Gaza yesterday, and Netanyahu reiterated his offer for $5 million for information leading to the release of Israeli hostages and safe passage for the Gazan who gives up that information, safe passage for him and his family. Other than that, we don't know how this war ends. Now, there's also the issue of humanitarian aid. Is it getting in? Israel says yes. It's getting looted. And Hamas even shot the looters just the other day of some of these humanitarian aid trucks. So that's an issue. So many times Israel is blamed for not getting aid in, and Israel's like, no, we're getting it in. Of course, we're getting it in. And some people say, well, it's not enough. And then there is actually aid that gets in, and either Hamas operatives are selling it for more money and it's supposed to be free because it's humanitarian aid, or it's being looted and then sold on the black market. I mean, the prices in Gaza have been absolutely outrageous. So, what? Okay. Oh boy, Raya's little clinic. So now, I should tell you, like, the real reason I'm on here is less to be talking about the news, because, by the way, I'm just one day. No, it's day two after arthroscopic hip surgery to repair a labral tear, and I feel good, feel okay. Need crutches to walk, but so anyway, you might see that actually, like, for the first time ever during one of these broadcasts, that I'm wearing lipstick, and I guess it's because I'm about to have an affiliate partner, and that would be my daughter. Because Raya, we got her for her birthday a lip gloss making kit, and she made one for me, and I put it on, and I'm like, oh, I have makeup, maybe I'll do a live now. And anyway, so when Raya actually starts selling these, and then I go online to market them, maybe I'll put on actually more makeup than just lip gloss, but then you can get your makeup from Raya, which I think is really hilarious. So, there's more going on. There's we've got the ceasefire in Lebanon. Oh my gosh, by the way, do you know this? A civilian, an older man, like 71 years old, I think he's like some sort of researcher, or he's into archaeology or something. He actually went to Lebanon with, military escort, but not approved. And he was killed while there. So, like, he went to a place that wasn't even fully controlled by the military and safe. And I guess it had something to do, like, he wanted to see, like, some site. I'm sorry, I haven't totally kept up with the details, and he was actually killed when he went. There's also, again, going on in Israel, we've got like a couple of scandals that are being investigated right now, like leaks by the prime minister's office. Were the leaks a breach of national security, or were they to help national security? And the people who leaked them, were they trying to just advance the position of the government, or are they now being attacked by the deep state left wing that wants to destroy the government? These are questions that are being raised as you hear the names. I think it's Eli Feldstein. I just heard an interview with his wife, and he apparently leaked some documents that made it into foreign media that were favorable to the Israeli cause, like to the government's cause, to the Prime Minister Netanyahu's statements and stuff like that. It backed him up. And now he's being investigated. And the wife said that at 5 a.m, for anybody who was awake, they barged in, like armed operatives.
Everything. Everything. Your counter. Your sink.
We'll be dealing with our own scandal here in a few. So they barged in. It was the intelligence officers, investigators that barged in armed. They have a 2-year-old as well, who somehow remains sleeping, but they turned the house upside down looking for evidence, took stuff. They took him, and they held him for about 2 weeks. He's now on a suicide watch because they're concerned for his life, and it looks like he was like tortured. Now, of course, I say if that's what happens to Israeli full-fledged citizens, what happens to Palestinians that are arrested? But that's another story, because now you're just looking at an Israeli who was also treated like that by the Shabach, apparently. And if that's the case, like, really, I mean, what could he be hiding? How bad could it be that these documents were taken. Were they really going to harm national security and stuff like that? So I don't know. Actually, I don't know what the. Then if you watch, if you listen to the news and you think, oh wow, it was probably really bad. But then if you hear the wife, and then you're like, oh my gosh, why? How could it have been that bad? But then on the other hand, you hear like Carolyn Glick, for instance, who's very right wing, very pro Netanyahu, etc. You hear her, and you're like, oh, of course, it's like to take down Netanyahu. So it really depends who you listen to, what you're going to believe. Also about northern Gaza. I mean, it is all about ethnic cleansing. If you are reading from the Palestinian point of view, they are literally moving people out of that area of northern Gaza, and they have no choice, and everything will be then sterilized / destroyed in order to maintain control of that area. So that is a very stringent and one-sided decision, obviously. And the question is, where does it go from there? And then how is it eventually, eventually what happens in Gaza? And something also that the former, now arrest warrant issued Defense Minister Yoav Gallant said today, that controlling humanitarian aid into Gaza by Israel is basically euphemism for a military occupation. So we'll see about that. So anyway, that's about all I got. These will go on sale. When are they going on sale, Raya?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
My house is pink, though. The whole house is pink now,
I'm
guys.
not even kidding. That's not see.
But she wants to show you the rest.
So first we have this one. So cute and cute.
Translucent pink. Here, watch out. Don't trip yourself.
And then we have these two. These are more like dark pink. And then we have the big long tubes, which this is like the one. And we have this purple one. And this one is the one that Mom has on. And it actually does show.
As you can see, it's the only thing I got on. Makeup wise. Yeah. Well, anyway, thank you.
I hate this, Mom.
Thank you for joining tonight. I'm sure there will be
I'm begging you.
more later. Now I got to go look at the kitchen
No, stop.
and the pink explosion. I mean, it's got to come off the counter. It comes off your lips. Oh, no, don't take my crutches. She's going to take my crutches. It means I can't track her down. All right. Check back in for more news as it comes out. We go from one insane thing to the next. Yesterday it was all about the deal with Lebanon, and today it's all about the arrest warrants for Netanyahu. I'm sure many people are rejoicing and many people are very offended. So anyway, let's see what happens.